Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 34 of Direwolf20's Let's Play of Not Too Complicated series. Where today I did a little bit of work off camera playing with dust. I'm pretty sure this is dust. This is a type of pollution. In addition to carbon and sulfur, dust is the third type. We learned in the past that it kind of sinks. So I built this little room down here to capture it, and I think this is how you filter it. If I give you paper, you should suck it all up. Yep, goodbye dust. Hello, paper filter. Nice. So remember, when the diamond filter frame has resources in it, it will emit a redstone signal. And that's the reason that we are... Wow, really? We have no sugar cane? We have sugar, but we have no sugar cane. I should probably look at a nature essence. Seeds might not be a terrible idea. I thought I had sugarcane at some point. Did I have a hopper pot of it? Like, what did I do with all my sugarcane? I guess I used it all. Doesn't matter. I mean, I have seeds, and we can always get more. But, yeah, long story short, this guy will sit there and do exactly what he's doing, which is emit a redstone signal when he's got resources in him, which is turning on the pump, so we don't really need the lever here. And then the pump pulls all the stuff in and sticks it into the adjacent diamond frame. So just wanted to show you that I figured out that how that works. Took me a few tries to figure out the solution because I figured it would it would go down, but no, it's cool to go up. So we're cool there. We are also producing, it looks like crushers are the ones that produce dust, by the way. So we should probably handle this crusher's dust pollution production. We'll figure it out, I think. The plan for now is to just let it happen and be fine with it. I tried to use an electric pump between episodes to collect water, and it does remove the source blocks, believe it or not. So very quickly we run out of water, and that's no good. So I've got a few more aqueous accumulators back at my, whatchamacallit, my reactor area. I made myself a turbine valve, and today I want to get our reactor up and running if possible. So that's the plan for today's episode, get the reactor cooking. What I want to do is make sure I've got everything ready to go for that reactor to run. Now, we really don't have a great power storage option still. I haven't super duper come up with that. I mean, this guy's storing lots of RF, don't get me wrong, and these guys are producing a healthy amount of RF, but I haven't, like, done the whole... I really wanted an induction, but that's going to require, like, 80-ish steel casings, which just, no. No. I mean, it's doable, it's just, ugh. And that's just for one of the components. I need two of those. We need like 170 steel casings, realistically, for just, you know, the first iteration of it. So we're probably not going to do that. What I do want to get is my mechanism, whatchamacallit, quantum entangleopers. That might not be a bad way to go. And let's see if we can get that, that stuff cooking today, shall we? So fuel-wise... we're going to want, and did I, what else? I do want to slash home just because it's faster. I didn't make them yet, but I have them. 32 of these bad boys, does that sound good? Should be easy peasy. Yeah, we're going to want some of that. We've got some more ultimate cables to deal with. So we've got tubes, we've got logistical transporters, and we've got pipes. So we're going to want to take the fissile fuel that we made last episode, turn it into steam, the steam will spin the turbine will give us power, back stuff and blow up our reactor, which we don't want to let happen. I probably want a couple of plugs, and I probably want to think about having maybe more batteries. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to handle the battery situation. What I probably want to do is replace this stuff with universal cables. Yeah, I think that's the play. I think that's what we're going to want to do. Basically, here's my thoughts. Let's take you, and you guys can all become universal cables. Okay? So I'm going to split these two things. So ultimate universal cables will go here. And I probably should have made more universal cables before... shutting down my whole network. So you guys should be filling up. And you've got a 9 million RF buffer, don't forget. That's cool, right? And then we've got our redstone doohickey here. And then you guys are going to need power hooked up, but I'll take care of that in a minute. Let's put I'm thinking, do I want to have like... So we definitely want our plug, but you're going to become the generators network plug. Okay. And I'm thinking you can just chill somewhere cool like here. Okay, so instead of the Direwell 20 network, well, actually, yes, for a minute, the Direwell 20 network, because I want more universal cables. Get me just a few more of those, if you don't mind. That would be super cool. Assuming you've got the power to do that. Okay, so now you're going to become a new network called the Generators Network. And you're going to be reddish. And you can be public, it's fine. Cool. So now your transfer limit, disable limit, you're not sending energy anywhere because our generators network has nowhere to go just yet. Now, where should I set up my power storage area? Because we should have somewhere to store the power, and it doesn't have to be in this room. I'm thinking, I have no idea where I want this to go. That's what I'm thinking. Let's just, stick it over here for now, and then we'll see if, we want a better place at some point in the future. Yeah, it should be fine. For now, you are going to input on the right. So you're going to get energy from the generators network, and you're going to send out to the Direwell 20 network. Right? So disable limit. You should have no limit. You should be sending all the RF you possibly can. You are good there. And then the generators network is where you will get your power with no limit. Cool. Does that work? Yeah. So that's how we're going to keep this thing going. Now, like I said, that's not a huge amount of energy storage, and I need to find a better way to store energy, but we'll figure it out. For now, I just wanted to get that going. Now, in theory, that should be fine there. Now what I want to have is our flux plug and our flux point over here. So your job, Mr. Steam Turbine, will be to get steam. Okay, so first off, I want a turbine valve who will output via flux plug to the generators network, okay, with no limit. And I would like the trash can to be by my energy cell, so we can keep track of that doing its job. So you're going to sit here in the corner with a point on top of you from, well, that actually is a problem. We only want to void our reactor's energy, right? We don't want to void the energy coming from the fuel. I feel like that would be dumb, right? So let's create a new network called reactor that's public, and we'll call it green because it's going to be a nuclear reactor, right? So any energy we want to void can be on the reactor network. So this is different than I've ever done this before, but you're also going to be a flux point. You're going to accept energy from the reactor network. Okay, no limit, and then you should have a priority of negative 1,000. Okay, so that means that if this guy's low on energy, he will receive energy. If he's full, then the energy will overflow into the trash can and be voided. Okay, unlimited. Yeah, unlimited transfer. I'm going to disconnect this for a minute for all fun intensives and purposes, because I want to see this guy have a lower buffer and then validate that everything's working the way I want it to. Okay, sounds like a plan to me. Okay, now for the inputting of the fuel. So what we're going to want to do, and I have to remember how this works. I actually might want this here, and we might want another reactor port. Give me 2 more fission reactor ports. That may require the crafting of a steel casing. Can't remember. We'll see. No, actually, we were good there. So we're good. Sweet. Because I think we want 2 on this side up here, right? We want 1 to be the input only, and 1 to be the coolant output, right? Okay, so the coolant should be in the form of steam, so that's going to be a pressurized tube, which is going to be like that. And then I'm pretty sure the turbine vents is where the mechanical pipes come in. And do something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, then we're going to want a quantum entangloper. My only complaint with the quantum entangloppers is you never really know how much stuff is stored in them. They have like an internal buffer that you don't see or have access to. That's my one complaint about those things. What I wouldn't mind is a quick tank or 2. I feel like that's a good play, right? Yeah, let's get a couple tanks. I don't need these filters right now. And then we want to be prepared to, finally, we want to have a nuclear storage area for the bad stuff. That's going to be coming out of here. And that'll probably come out this way. And we'll probably set it up in this chunk. We'll probably designate a chunk over here for waste storage. Yeah, I think that's a good plan. Cool. You can see my extra aqueous accumulators that I set up. All right, so you're ready to go. So let's do the quantum entangloper thing. So for now, you've got, I'm pretty sure that's the output for the gases, right? I'm going to turn eject off for a sec so that you're not dumping gases out. But what I want to have here is basically, we don't really have to do this, but I like doing it. But gases will be input on the back, okay? And then you're going to get a new channel called fissile fuel. Check. Set. And that should be all she wrote. Cool. So you're going to get fissile fuel. And then what I would like is a quantum entangloper here with a tank here that we can always upgrade to a bigger tank if we want. And you're going to be on the fissile fuel, and your side config, for gases at least, will be the bottom will be auto output. Cool. So with this set up correctly, once I set this guy to auto output, he should dump his fissile fuel into the quantum entangloper, which will teleport it over to here and dump it into this guy. And that's all she wrote. Yeah? Cool. Okay, let's do it. So you, for gases, go back to eject, fissile fuel empty, fissile fuel filling up, and then we can, using our, do I want to use an ultimate pressurized tube? I think I can use a lower tier pressurized tube, right? And the reason I want to do that is so that it doesn't have as big of a buffer, so that if I decide I need to re-orchestrate some of this, we don't have to wait for it to empty out before moving it. Because remember, if this stuff hits the world, it's bad news bears. So don't break any pipes with fissile fuel or nuclear waste in them. You will have a bad time. Okay, so now I just need to set your out to bottom is output. Fissile fuel is going into the reactor. That is a good time. By the way, I did set all these guys to, you know, have speed upgrades and all that good stuff, so we're in good shape with that. I did not set up the whole uranium thing. I should probably consider doing that. All right, so what if we did this? You ready? I'm thinking down in the basement-y area somewhere, where we have plenty of channels available. Yeah, maybe right next to this guy. This can be where I can set up some auto outputs. We run some cables down here to a yellow chest with an export bus. Whose job will be to have a crafting card in him, and he will export sulfur dust. Cool. And a few acceleration cards may not go awry. Cool. Oh, and that reminds me I have to re-hook up some energy cables in a sec. I forgot to do that. But yes. Now, you should be crafting on demand for that, right? Yes, you are. See how we're using up sulfur essence? Yeah, so on-demand crafting is working for that. That's cool. That's going to be our sulfur dust guy. Now, fluorite and the other kind, uranium, can probably come from EMC, right? And we can use an EMC chest to make that happen. Does that sound like a plan? I think that sounds like a plan. Pollution. It's the worst for you. Remember, if you don't like the pollution mechanic, you can turn it off. There is nothing that makes you keep pollution going on. Like, you can absolutely turn that off. I particularly find it to be a fun challenge, but, you know, I know not everybody is down with that, so, you know. All right, now what we want to do is get wireless out of range. Are you out of power already? You can't possibly be out of power. Did we burn through that much EM? Oh, wow, we did. Okay, yes. Okay, yeah, so no, I didn't expect that to burn out so quickly. So let's do that. That will get us power back up and running for a sec. Sweet. Wow, that burned out really fast. Holy cow. I did not realize we were burning that much RF. So anyway, now what we want to do is get ourselves from Project E, probably a regular energy condenser. I don't think we need a Mark II energy condenser. I think a regular one should be fine. And I'm guessing, let's do this. Let's get some red matter. And I'm going to throw half a stack at each, and we'll see how long that lasts. Is that a good deal? Now remember, we want uranium ingots and fluorite. And we will come up with a better way to handle this, probably with, like, the flowers and stuff. Are we really? What? We got to have more uranium than that. Oh, it's probably in here, that's why. Yes, uranium ingots and fluorite. Okay. And then basically we are going to have an energy condenser here that's targeting uranium. We give it half a stack of red matter. And that should be lots of uranium, right? Not a huge amount. Not a huge amount, mind you. Primarily because uranium's 4096 EMC. But the fluorite, on the other hand, will probably last quite a bit longer. So you will target fluorite, get the other half a stack of EMC, red matter. No, you're supposed to be sulfur. My bad. I'm turning this back into red matter. Yeah, no, you're supposed to be this guy. Logistical transporter. He should be full on sulfur, by the way, now. And there you go. Chemical oxidizer. The fluorite goes here-ish. So that's where we're going to throw our energy condenser. Targeting fluorite. Go. You should be items coming in the back. Coming in the back. Perfect. Fluorite. Nice. Cool. And then you can go in here, uranium. It's still making the uranium. I have no idea how much uranium it's going to make. I could math it out for you guys, but you math it out. You saw the tooltip with how much EMC was in that stack. You divide that number by 4096. Long story short, I think we're in good place here. Yes? Is good? I think so. RF's a little bit low, I'll give you that much. Are we struggling to maintain the RF per tick needs? Probably. What's going on over here? Is it that we don't have enough power, or is it that we don't have enough throughput of power? It's that we don't have enough power. Okay, well, good news is that we can now test this reactor in a good way. So let's see what happens, shall we? If I turn you on, we should be ready to go, right? You're making fissile fuel slowly but surely. We're going to activate you. My goodness, that's loud. I'm going to put you around around 15%. I do want to hear that it's running. Now you're making steam. 543 EU. Now remember, we can turn up this number, right? So this is at a very low burn rate. We're producing a very small amount of steam, but everything seems to be working the way I would expect it to, right? Steam is turning into water. We're producing EU. I do want to dump excess here. Remember, we don't ever want to not dump excess. Yeah. Very small numbers, but I just want to make sure that everything's working before I ramp it up. Because remember, if this thing overheats, it's a bad time. And we should set up the overheat protection, right? But you are getting nothing. Cool. So you're making 2,000-ish RF a tick? That's not bad. It's not bad. Even though the production says 543 EU. He says he's making 2,000. I'll take his word for it. That's not bad. So in theory, you should be getting all 2,000 and you should be getting nothing. But if you ever fill up, then trash can, right? So now remember, there's a limit of 24,000 RF a tick. So we need to consider that. Let's get this burn rate turned up to 0.5. So the turbine's spinning a little bit more now. You're producing 11,000. So what if I turn the burn rate up to 0.9? You're going to be getting even more speed. You're going to be at like 20-ish thousand. And then let's go see what's going on over here. Because that's going to about cap out what we can handle on this guy, right? Because he can't go above 24,000. I think that's per side, luckily. Oh, wow. You're getting 24,000 from the blue network? Really? I'm thinking that's probably a buffer here that's probably happening. Because there's no way you guys are producing 24,000 combined. You're at 4,000 on the red network. Oh, blue is out. That's right. Yeah. So red coming in is 4. This coming in is 20.5, right? And you do have a net gain, which is nice. You are capped out at the 24,000 output. So we absolutely have to figure out a better battery solution. Because this redstone flux cell ain't going to cut it. Not even a little bit. Now what I should be able to do is maybe throw another plug on here and make the front be blue, no orange. So now you're both outputting 24,000-ish? Or at least it's kind of ish working, maybe? Yeah, maybe. So you guys are cool. You're good. How's the energy going over to here? That's my question. You're right around that 23,000 mark. So you really are chewing up power. Trying to figure out if you're just filling up internal buffers or what the deal is. I mean, you say you're at 0 of 8 million RF internal buffers. So that tells me that somebody ain't full. You're choking for power a little bit, not gonna lie. Everybody else is pretty good, but that guy is definitely choking for power. What I might do is try to cut down on some stuff. Actually, none of you guys are running so much. Wow, okay. How much do you need, buddy? Because you should be the only machine running at the moment, and you're not keeping up? Really? Huh. Okay. We're just gonna have to see what happens. What if I ejected some speed upgrades from you? Just for fun. So now you're gonna fill up your internal buffers, right? Okay. Cool. Alright, so it looks like we're building up a buffer again, which is good news. So what should happen is you're taking your 20,000 and you're pushing it into here. Remember, we want to start trashing it once we, run out. And oh, by the way, I didn't even account for the whole waste stuff. So I need to handle that at some point. How are we doing for nuclear waste? Oh, we only got 10,000 millivolts. We got plenty of buffer in here for now. Definitely need to deal with it soon. Because remember, a big part of what I'm doing here is to try and make stuff with that nuclear waste. That nuclear waste is how we get polonium and plutonium, which is going to be used for what I assume is some more late game stuff. So definitely need that. So we're not going to be wasting that. We're going to be using that. And we might even make... I'm debating if I want, like, the mechanism power suit, because that's pretty fun. Or the Project E stuff, because that's pretty powerful. Or both. Both is good. Could always make both. But I do like the fast run speed and jump and all that stuff that you get from Mechanism's power suit. So we might be going that route. But what I want to see here is once this guy fills up with power, which should happen within seconds, we will transition all transfer of power from here to here. And once that happens, I will feel really good, knowing that our reactor is probably not going to explode. Probably not going to explode. Hopefully. So you should be going, and you should be going, and you're just voiding all the energy now. See? And notice it's flickering all over the place. That's because of the power usage, right? So basically, any energy that can't fit in the cell goes into the trash can. And that's going to be really important for us. Nice. All right, cool. So now we've got this all handled. If I wanted to, I could scram this guy. And maybe consider setting up our smart logic, because even though it shouldn't explode, we should be careful about impossible explosions, right? So what I could have your logic to be high temperature, output when the reactor reaches dangerous temperatures. Yes. Damage critical, insufficient fuel. Yeah, it should be fine. So we get ourselves some redstone, and a NOT gate, and I think that's all we need, really, right? It's a super simple setup, if I remember. Come on, out of range. Redstone gate. You know, let's get a RF Tools logic-y dude, and then we could probably play with the whole thing. So you should emit a redstone signal when the temperature gets critical. And that's something we're going to want to test in a moment. Hopefully. Well, I probably don't want to test it, to be fair. And then you, activation. And what we'll want to do is, like, trip it, right? So what I could have is basically a logic dude that says there. And we're going to say... So here's our inputs, right? A should be on, and B should be off, and C should be off, and then you should emit a redstone signal, right? So check this out. I'm gonna simulate this, right? Okay, that's not what should be happening. A should be on. Oh wait, we have to turn this off. Hold on, that off. Okay, cool. Now we're good. Okay, so check this out. If this is on, you're on. And if that's off, you're on. If this is off, you're off. So this is my turn on and off the reactor lever. Okay? If we have another lever, which I, totally don't have on me at the moment. Probably should. Okay. If there is a redstone signal coming in from the back, that means the temperature is overheated, and we want to turn this thing off, right? So watch. He's on, but if this guy emits a redstone signal because of high temperature, reactor off. Got it? And that's how we're going to handle it, okay? So this is going to be my temperature sensor. This is going to be my turn on and off. He can't have a high temperature, or he'll turn off. Deal? I like it. I like it. Okay, cool. And if we want to do something smart, we could maybe like monitor the amount of RF in our cell at the moment, but I don't want to do that just yet. That will probably come at some point in the future. We'll get there. See, he's currently draining a lot of power because he's doing all the uranium fuel production. Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. We have a net loss on power because of that. I have to figure out how I want to handle this stuff. Realistically, the reactor is more about making polonium and plutonium than it is about making power. If I really wanted, good power, I'd be tracking down solars, because solars are pretty ridiculous. That said, I think I'm going to leave the reactor on, even though we're voiding energy, because I'm less interested in reserving fuel. See, look all the uranium we got. I'm less interested in reserving fuel and more interested in generating nuclear waste that will be able to turn into polonium and plutonium. So I'm going to say this is a complete build. Like, we're good here, right? Do we have a net gain on fissile fuel? We do. At this speed, we have a net gain on fissile fuel. Now, I might ramp things up, even though it's going to be voiding more energy, because again, the key is not producing energy. We're more interested in the waste. So I will speed this up to produce waste faster, but we'll get there in a bit. All right, so what I'm going to do is wrap up the episode here, come back next episode, and let's handle the waste production stuff. So we want to take the waste being produced in the reactor, dump it into the thing that's going to make polonium and plutonium for us. We'll have to set up that production line. Then remember, we get excess waste from that, which is going to have to get stored in our radioactive waste barrels. So this chunk here is where we'll set up that process, right? We'll basically take the nuclear waste out of here. So let's see, this guy can turn into plutonium in the isotropic centrifuge, or polonium in the solar neutron reactor, which we then give fluorite dust, which we can easily make, and water, also easily made, to make polonium, pellets, and spent nuclear waste, right? We can also turn that polonium into antimatter, which is cool. Plutonium, unless it has a different use in this pack, is generally only used, so let's see, that can turn into neutron gas, okay, cool, which can turn into pile of neutrons, try not to think about it. And that's going to make our neutronium nuggets, which lead to crafting the infinity ingot. Cool. Okay, well now we know how that works. Okay, that's nifty. So that's a thing. Yeah, sweet. And then you guys can make neutronium blocks, which, yeah, only make that. And what do we use infinity ingots for? We can use them to make infinity armor, which is cool. Or we can use them to make infinity blocks, which is just a storage mechanic. Okay, cool. So, yeah, that's probably like an endgame-y type thing that we can do. So that's one thing that we can use plutonium for. The other thing is it makes plutonium-242, which can be used for SPS casings. Remember, that's how we get the... SPS is how we get the antimatter stuff. And we can also use it to make other types of fuel, it looks like. MOX gas, okay, cool. And a fission reactor from mechanism generators, neato. Okay, cool. And that'll make depleted MOX gas, which makes depleted MOX fuel. Okay, yeah. Oh my goodness. It looks like this is very reminiscent of nuclear craft, doesn't it? Yeah. Looks like nuclear craft stuff here. But assuming we're probably not going to go down that route, what we'll probably do is just, you know, get the couple things that we need to get. So for now, wrapping up point. Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time to do more stuff. We have plenty of power now. It's just a matter of storing it and transferring it around, which is easier said than done, apparently. So we'll figure it out next episode. For now, take it easy.